Hey, it's Matt Pinville here talking with Beth Orton. Beth, let's talk a bit about, people have said, they've tried to, in describing your music, they've said that it's kind of a folk rock thing that meets electronica. But, I mean, there's a lot of other influences in there. There's jazz, there's blues, there's funk. How do you feel about that? I mean, when people try to sum it up that way?
I don't know. Folk music's music for the people, so, as in, it's just your everyday emotions and feelings, and so I suppose that's kind of folk, and if that's folk, that's okay, that's where I'm coming from. And then I think that there's a lot of soul in what I do, so maybe I'm a sort of folk, soul, blues, jazz thing. I don't know. I think that, people have to make classifications. They have to put
things in
categories.
Places.
Yeah. I mean, I ask the question, if someone tells me they're in a band, I'm like, oh, what sort of music? You just do. That's what you do.
Because you want to know.
Yeah.
And identify it. Now, speaking of folk things and the wide spectrum, you've been influenced, read by everybody from Nick Drake to Stone Roses. Are those two your favorites? Roses in particular? I'm curious about that.
I went to see the Happy Mondays play the other night.
Oh, did you?
And that was brilliant.
We should let people know the Happy Mondays have actually gotten back together in England to do a few gigs in one single.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Manchester scene, right?
Yeah.
How was it? Were they good?
It was amazing. It was brilliant. I danced for like a whole gig, non-stop.
Were Sean and Bez going crazy on stage?
To be honest, it was the last night, so Sean was a bit,
It's a bit knackered, as you'd say.
But Bez was having it.
Yeah.
He was like all the way up and down the front.
What would they do without Bez's spirituality dancing? I mean, he's unbelievable. He's all over the stage. Now, don't move, because when 120 Minutes returns, we'll have more with Beth Orton. Plus, we've got lots of great videos, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dolores from the Cranberries, and one of my favourite videos is a video called Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. I like the simplicity of the whole thing. It's just so simple and it's so cool.
Child, come and rescue me, 'cause you have seen some unbelievable things.
Here, your new album is called Central Reservation, and it's produced by Victor Van Voot, who actually worked with you on Trailer Park 2. He's worked with Nick Cave. But he also used in co-production David Roback, who was with Mazzy Star. Tell me how you got involved with him. Were you a big fan of Mazzy Star's?
Yeah. We got in touch with him, gave him a tape, and he flew over to England and just came around my house with a sort of bunch of guitars and bottle of red wine, and we just started playing music, and we just gelled. And I was just like, at the time I was having this weird thing where I didn't want to like put my vocal down because it just seemed too definite and finite and finished. And he was funny. He was just like, I decided he should record my vocals and he should take over this sort of thing. But Victor, had done this huge bulk of the record already. And in the end, David just did it. We just did a couple of songs together, and yeah, it was great. Went out to Oslo, to his studio in Oslo, and did it. It was brilliant.
Are you thinking about working with him maybe next time around, having him do the whole album, or do you think you'll kind of split with Victor again? Yeah. I
don't know about things like that. When I was doing it, yeah, definitely, it was like, yeah, you've got to do the next record. But sometimes it's nice to have that diversity and try different things. But I'd definitely like to work with David again. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinville, hanging out here with Beth Orton. Beth, you have some cool guests on your record on the latest one. From Ben Harper to Ben Watt, and Dr. John I thought was a really cool choice to have on the record. Very interesting. How did that come about?
He was working in the studio next door to where I was. Bumped into him and his manager in the the TV room or whatever, and there it was just like, Manny, you got any tracks you want me to play on? And that's a really terrible impression of him because he's not really like that at all. But anyway, I can't do that accent, that New Orleans accent.
Yeah, New Orleans you do.
New Orleans. And anyway, so he just came along and played on Sweetest Decline, and he also played on Devil's Song, but it was a different version, and so it didn't get used. And another song, Inevitable, which didn't get on the record as well, but they're sort of around. And I don't know, it was just an amazing kind of spontaneous happening.
Yeah, he's quite a legend, Dr. John. I mean, he ended up having a bunch of Brits actually playing his last record. He had Supergrass, Paul Weller, all these people, and he wanted you to play as well, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't because I was making my record. But that's sort of how it worked out. It was really, yeah.
It's very cool. Now, how Hartley did the video. Now, besides Ben Watt being on the record from Everything But the Girl, he actually directed videos for them as well.
Yeah.
For Stolen Car. How did you end up hooking up with him? Was it the same kind of thing?
Sent him a fax.
Yeah.
Said that I love his work, and he sent one back saying that he liked mine, and before you know it, we're making a video.
That's right. The rest is history. Let's check it out right now. This is the first video from the album Central Reservation. Beth Orton and Stolen Car on 120 Minutes.